Welcome back. Today, we are jumping straight into the deep end with this explainer of no respawn. Picture this. You're running for your absolute life in complete darkness. The ground under your feet is shaking, dust and stone are pouring down from the ceiling, and right behind you, heaven, the only safe zone you've ever known in this completely brutal lit RPG world, is dying. You can literally still hear the screams, the towers coming down, the roar of this unstoppable monster army, and the terrifying, heavy footsteps of the First King. This is exactly the nightmare our 5 players are in right now, sprinting desperately through a hidden tunnel, just trying to escape a world that absolutely wants them dead. They are running totally blind in here. The only thing guiding them are these faint, pulsing blue crystals stuck in the tunnel walls, and this ghostly light, it reveals these ancient, super ominous carvings all along the stone. They're not just creepy decorations, they're warnings. They show travelers walking into a dark forest, but only their shadows walking back out. The game is sending a very clear message here. Yeah, you might have escaped the siege, but you are definitely not out of the nightmare yet. Which brings us to part 1, the Dark Tunnel, and this cursed tax they have to pay. Because in most games, getting magic is the ultimate power fantasy, right? But here, it's a literal curse. Every single time these boys use an ability, the game extracts this devastating tax from them. Right in the middle of this frantic sprint, Kabir just hits a wall. His legs totally give out, he slumps against the stone, gasping for air, his eyes completely unfocused. Arjun asks him a super simple question, just, "What's your name?" And Kabir hesitates. He actually says, "Kabir, I think." Let that sink in for a second. His insanely powerful ability, Abyss Fire, doesn't use some standard mana bar. It burns his memories. His power is literally eating away at who he is, to the point where he's starting to forget his own identity. And things don't get any easier in Section 2, 30 Feral Hollows. Just as they are starting to process what's happening to Kabir, Samir freezes. His living shadow actually detaches on its own and points out into the darkness, where dozens of yellow eyes suddenly snap open. And then the system pops up with this incredibly clinical, cold blue window. Feral Hollows, Level 4, Behavior, Hunts in Packs, Threat, Moderate. You kind of have to appreciate the cruel irony of the system's tone here. Kabir just lets out this weak, terrified little laugh because to the system, this is just a quote-unquote moderate encounter. But out of the shadows step 30 skeletal monsters. We're talking stretched gray skin, needle teeth, and long claws scraping against the stone. For 5 battered, exhausted level 1 players, moderate means an absolute bloodbath. So how do they even survive this? Well, they rely on rapid, desperate teamwork, using those same cursed lit RPG abilities. It's a crazy sequence. First, Rohan's silver eye flashes, letting him predict the exact path of a lunging hollow, and he shouts out the position. Second, Arjun triggers his Deadeye perception. The whole world slows down for him, and he spots a glowing blue line right under the monster's jaw. It's the weak point. Third, Arjun grabs a broken spear and thrusts it directly into that mark, dropping the beast instantly with a critical strike. It's this incredibly dynamic breakdown of how perfectly they have to coordinate just to survive one single monster. But yeah, there are still 29 left. Okay, so they do manage to slaughter the pack, but man, look at the brutal reality of the cost. The momentum just crashes the second the adrenaline wears off. Arjun is left with a bloody nose and this agonizing, splitting pain in his skull from using his Deadeye. Samir just collapses, clutching his arm. One of the monsters bit his shadow, and it turns out whatever wounds the shadow takes, Samir physically feels in his own flesh. And Vikram? He used his Ruin Weaver magic to crush a bunch of hollows with stone pillars. I mean, it worked, but now, at just 19 years old, a whole streak of his hair has permanently turned gray. They won the battle, sure, but they are literally destroying their own bodies to do it. Which leads us into Section 3, the cost of leveling. The frantic chaos finally gives way to this really eerie, heavy silence in the tunnel, as 30 mangled corpses dissolve into those floating blue particles. Then, the classic RPG system window chimes in with what should be fantastic news. Enemies eliminated, experience gain, level up, level 2 achieved. It is so completely disconnected from their reality. The system is talking to them like they just finished some fun little tutorial milestone, totally ignoring the fact that they are bleeding out, traumatized, and permanently aged from the fight. But then, an attribute table opens up in front of each of them. Strength, agility, vitality, mind, luck. For just a split second, this offers a real glimmer of hope. It's tangible proof that, hey, the rules of the game do actually apply to them. They can assign points. They can get physically stronger, faster, and tougher. Kabir even says in total disbelief, we're actually leveling up. It's this one tiny, shiny reward for their unimaginable suffering. But Arjun completely shatters that brief moment of relief with one crushing question. He looks back down the tunnel toward the distant rumble of the destroyed city, and he just asks, if the game gives us levels, what level was that king? Oof. It completely recontextualizes what they just did. They nearly died. They sacrificed their memories, their youth, their sanity, just to reach level 2 by fighting a bunch of basic grunts. That hollow monarch that effortlessly wiped out a massive fortified city, it must be a level so high it defies comprehension. All of a sudden, leveling up doesn't feel like progress at all. It just feels like proof of how incredibly insignificant they really are. Now we move to Section 4, Blackwood Forest. Hours later, the tunnel finally ends. They step out into this vast valley sitting under an endless crimson sky. The forest ahead of them is just enormous, with these pitch-black trunks and silver leaves that twist together like giant skeletal fingers. And right at the entrance stands this weathered stone marker. It reads Blackwood Forest, recommended level 10. And then the system cruelly calculates their odds. Current average party level 2, survival probability 7%. The game isn't even trying to hide it. They are walking straight into a meat grinder. 7%. That's enough to make anyone freeze. Those are the odds of them actually making it to the safe zone Elias promised them. Before they can even begin to process that horrific number, this dry chuckle echoes from right behind them. Sitting on top of the stone marker is an old man they didn't even hear walk up. He's wearing a wide black hat, a patched-up cloak, and he's holding a lantern that's burning with this weird blue fire. He calls himself the Keeper. But the most unsettling detail isn't that he just appeared out of nowhere. It's his eyes. He doesn't have any pupils. Instead, his eyes are filled with countless tiny stars swirling around in endless darkness. And instantly, the system flashes a window, and this is where you know things are deadly serious. Unique NPC detected. Name, the Keeper. Threat level, unknown. Do not attack. Remember, this is the exact same system that just calmly rated 30 skeletal monsters as a moderate threat. Now it's explicitly warning the players that this entity is completely off the charts. It's a direct, strict command, do not provoke this guy under any circumstances. Which brings us to Section 5, the Fallen Sanctuary. Think about what these boys have been through. They escaped the Siege of Haven. They barely survived the tunnel. They are clinging by their fingernails to the one sliver of hope Elias gave them before he sacrificed himself. The Blackwood Sanctuary, a hidden safe zone. But the Keeper just looks at them, raises his blue lantern and says, 3 days ago, the Blackwood Sanctuary fell. Just like that, their absolute last shred of hope is wiped out. The destination they nearly killed themselves to reach is already a ghost town. And that takes us right into our final section, the Witch's Song. The Keeper drops his voice to this chilling whisper. He tells them there's only one other path forward, but they have to cross the territory of the witch who hunts players. At that exact moment, this freezing breeze sweeps right through the black trunks of the forest, and a woman begins to sing. It's this beautiful, ancient, and heartbreakingly sad melody just echoing through the leaves, searching for them. Suddenly, the system window flashes blood red. It completely abandons that clinical blue tone we saw earlier and throws up this frantic, urgent warning. Warning, do not follow the singing. Ignore any familiar voices. Do not look into the trees after sunset. She already knows you're here. The game itself is literally panicking. It's practically begging the players to survive this encounter, which makes this witch infinitely more terrifying than those hollows they just fought. So where does that leave us? The boys have paid in blood, in memories, and in their own youth, just to escape into a forest that promises a 93% chance of death, and they're being stalked by an entity that the system itself is terrified of. If Haven and the Blackwood Sanctuary have both fallen to the monsters, is there truly anywhere left to hide in this world? Or is running just delaying the inevitable? It's such a chilling question, and it absolutely leaves you desperate to know what happens next. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive explainer of No Respawn, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to unravel this brutal lit RPG nightmare.